Day 2 training camp reaction is coming your way on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr. So glad all of you are hanging out here with me. Here's everything that's coming up on the show. Jalen Carter injury news. Jalen Hurts on fire again. He wins Super Bowl MVP, and throughout this offseason, not only did he not put on the Super Bowl ring because that was last year's news, he's just an uber competitor and really does have shades of Michael Jordan, Tom Brady with that mental makeup. But throughout this offseason, he's been surgical throwing the football. Quinyon Mitchell, will he have a new role for Vic Fangio's defense in 2025? We'll, of course, go through some key roster battles, latest camp news, and a whole lot more. I'm going to be here for you every single day of Eagles training camp. For instance, yesterday, the first day of practice for Philadelphia for the 2025 session of training camp, we did a reaction video. We went live. It's up on the channel. So if you need to get caught up with everything transpiring with the Birds, check that video out. Be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Hit that bell icon. Therefore, anytime we go live, anytime we push out a show, you will be notified. As far as day 1 of Eagles training camp, for that first practice session, a couple of photos from yesterday's session. Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. Beautiful blue skies in South Philadelphia at the Novacare Complex. Devontae Smith, just a star in Super Bowl 59 against Kansas City. All smiles. As far as the swag, love the neon green gloves as well. Saquon Barkley pumped up to be back practicing with Philadelphia as well, coming off that tremendous season last year when he won Offensive Player of the Year and was top 5 in MVP voting. He put together the best single season for a running back in the history of the league. Put that in perspective. Nobody in the regular season and playoffs has more rushing yards in a single year than number 26. What a free agent acquisition for Philadelphia and Howie Roseman, and hopefully he can duplicate that success here in 2025. And then Quinyon Mitchell matched up against A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, one of the top wideouts in the game. Quinyon, one of the top corners in the game. You want to talk about iron, sharpening iron? That's Quinyon going up against A.J. A contested battle on the practice field. You love to see that. As for Jalen Carter, an injury update on this front. Yesterday, we talked about how he did not practice because of a shoulder injury. Second consecutive day that the Eagles star defensive tackle did not practice. He was on hand. It's not like there's a holdout or anything. He's contract extension eligible after this year, but this is something that we're going to continue to monitor. How severe is that shoulder injury? When did it happen? The Eagles haven't put him on PUP. They didn't put him on the NFI, the non-football injury list, but this is something worth monitoring because he's a defensive force for Philadelphia. He's one of the best players on this Eagles roster, one of the top defensive players in the entire National Football League, and he was a second-team All-Pro. If he goes out in 2025 and plays like he did in 2024, he is going to be a $30 to $40 million per year man. Number 98 is special. And it's incredible that he fell to Philadelphia at number 9 back in the NFL draft a couple of years ago, entering a huge year 3 for his career and for this Eagles defense. Among all defensive tackles a year ago during that Super Bowl season for the Birds, nobody played more snaps than Jalen Carter. He's been extremely durable to start his career, more than 1,000 snaps, number 1 among defensive tackles. His pressure rate of 10.5%, third at the position. His pass rush win rate of 12.9%, fourth in the NFL. He had 7 sacks, that was tied for third. Of note, Pro Football Focus does not count half sacks. He had 16 quarterback hits, that was second among DTs. 52 pressures, also ranked second. He also has this innate ability to play with feel at the line of scrimmage and bat passes down. He had 7 of those last year. That was number 1 among defensive tackles. The peanut punch, he has that to his arsenal as a player. 3 forced fumbles, that ranked number 1 atop all defensive tackles last year. His run stop win rate, 7.2%, that ranked third. His Pro Football Focus run grade isn't like insane, but as far as his run stop win rate, he's really good in that category. And then he had 8 TFLs. That, too, was number 1. He's one of those players who doesn't jump out as far as his sack production, but he's the classic you need to see him in person type of player. and hopefully he can get healthy soon to work on his conditioning, to be a member of this Eagles defense, to just get on the field, because as you can see here with the numbers that we just broke down, he's a unique one-of-one talent. As for Jalen Hurts, he has been on fire all offseason long, during OTAs, during mandatory minicamp, and to start training camp. His completion percentage throughout those practice sessions and now during training camp is almost perfect. He's literally completed about 97% of his passes. This is important because the Eagles have a new offensive coordinator in Kevin Patullo. Jalen Hurts has another OC in his career. He's had a bevy of them in college, Alabama, Oklahoma, and with Philadelphia. And if it's not a new OC, it's a brand new play caller. And Hurts is keeping the ball off the ground and out of harm's way. He's been surgical, making really good decisions with the ball. He's been very decisive. He continues to throw one of the best long balls in the NFL. And throughout training camp, he's thrown a couple of balls with touch. And I want you to listen in here to this clip and the ovation that Jalen Hurts got when he took the field for training camp today. A bunch of kids awaiting his arrival, and they went nuts for the Super Bowl MVP. Shout out to Elliott Shore Parks for this video here on X. And as always, a little bounce to Hurts' step as well. But can you imagine being in the shoes of one of those kids there where you see the quarterback, the marketable face, the face of the franchise, come out of that little tunnel as that garage door rises up, and you're like, that's Jalen Hurts? That's the Super Bowl MVP? They went bonkers. And it kind of reminded me of when I was a kid at Veterans Stadium, at Citizens Bank Park, at Lincoln Financial Field, especially at CBP when it was first built, because the Phillies players have this garage that they park in outside of the stadium, and now it's covered by ivy, and you can't see anybody inside that garage. But when Citizens Bank Park was first built, you could see everybody. And so we would go nuts as diehard Philadelphia sports fans as kids when we would see some of those Phillies players. And, of course, anytime you're in the presence of a professional athlete, you just go nuts. Those kids on hand from the Darby Monarchs from Upper Darby and the Collingdale United Kids football team. Shout out to them in attendance for day 2 of Eagles training camp. Here's a look at Jalen Hurts warming up today. Just some simple drop backs, throwing to his right, taking the snap, throwing to his left. That was his warm-up session here today. And then what transpired during team drills, Hurts was awesome. He started off a perfect 9 of 9 on day 2 of training camp. And some of the highlights here, a tight window throw downfield to Dallas Goedert beyond the outstretched arm of Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Good coverage, but a better throw. Hurts also had a pinpoint accurate ball to A.J. Brown. That connection ever since A.J. got traded to the Eagles has been unstoppable, especially in training camp. They have linked up time and time again during camp. What a tough duty for some of these Eagles corners to have to cover A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Another highlight play was when Hurts rolled to his left. Keep in mind, that's opposite of his throwing arm, and then he threw to Devontae Smith downfield right on the sideline. A good play to extend and then make an accurate throw. His lone bad throw of the day, I guess you could put it, a rare pass breakup by Zach Bond, where Hurts was a little bit inaccurate. He tried to maybe fit the ball into a tight window, but it's Zach Bond, an all-pro first team last year and a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. Shout out to Elliott Shore Parks once again, 94 WIP Eagles Insider, for the statistical breakdown for Hurts on day 2 of camp. 17 of 19 in team drills today. Only 2 incompletions, of course. No touchdowns, no picks. ESP giving him an A grade. So much more to get to here on the show. But first, there is a week left in July as I record this show on Thursday, July 24th. So far this month, Eagles now has gained 869 new subscribers. In the month of June, right on the number, we picked up 1,200 subscribers. I want to beat that number with a week left to go here in July. And now that Eagles football is back, we're really ramping up our coverage. You don't want to miss it. And anytime I'm talking Eagles, I want all of our content to be insightful, informative, entertaining, thought-provoking. I always want you to have a voice, so lock us in if you haven't done so already. #1 Eagles channel right here on YouTube. So far, Jalen Carter injury news, Jalen Hurts on fire again, new role for Quinyon Mitchell. Will he travel this year? Key roster battles, latest camp news. But I do want to tell you about our sponsor, our friends at Brunt. These work boots are incredible, and I encourage you to give them a try. And you can try them on your job site when you make your purchase. If you don't like them, you can send them back. But I'm telling you right now, you are going to love these work boots. These ones right here are fantastic. I wear them all the time when I'm putting in some work outside of chat sports here, when I'm in front of the camera. But when I'm off camera, of course, I love woodworking. Woodshop was my favorite class in high school. And if you use our code CHAT at bruntworkwear.com/chat, you can get $10 off your purchase. What if I told you that you can finally have durable work boots that are as comfortable as your sneakers? Join over 500,000 other customers and hop on board the Brunt train now. Brunt lets you, as I mentioned, try the boots on the job, and all of their products have free shipping. The boots in my hand, the best-selling Marin work boots, not only built for the toughest job sites, they're completely waterproof. Whether it's rain, mud, or standing water, your feet will stay dry. From oily workshop floors to muddy farm fields and everywhere in between, the Marin 6-inch soft toe is built for workers across a variety of trades. Shoot, if you're wearing some jeans and you want to go out at night to a nice dinner or hit some bars, go to an Eagles game, a Phillies game, these boots are also very stylish as well. But Brunt isn't just about work boots. They offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs. From heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets, Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any condition. So use the code CHAT, bruntworkwear.com/chat. You'll get $10 off. And when you make your purchase, be sure to tell them that Chase Senior, Eagles Now, and Chat Sports sent you. We'll put that link down below in the comment section, in the show notes, and attached to the pinned comment of today's Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Philadelphia, it is a city of blue-collar workers. I know that a lot of you can relate to that, right? Get some Brunt boots, $10 off your order. Use the code CHAT. All right, next up here on the show, will Eagles second-year cornerback Quinyon Mitchell travel this year? Vic Fangio held a press conference prior to day 2 of Eagles training camp, and he said that Quinyon has been working on the right side and left side so that here in 2025, he could potentially follow some of the top wide receivers in the game. This would be a new role for Quinyon Mitchell, who last year solidified himself as a top 10 corner in the NFL. Quinyon played exclusively at right corner after he was a first-round pick out of Toledo. 876 of his 977 snaps came on the right side. This is a development to watch. Now, when he was matched up against some of the top wide receivers in the game, he shut him down. At Toledo, in the NFL so far, he has an innate ability to make plays on the ball. Will we see that on both sides of the Eagles secondary? We will see here as things transpire. Vic Fangio also spoke very highly of Eagles rookie cornerback Mac McWilliams, who the Birds drafted in the 4th round out of UCF. This is a player who in college played primarily on the outside. I think at the NFL level, he's more of an inside guy. But even if he is, remember, the Eagles lost Avonte Maddox, a valuable slot corner. Obviously, Cooper DeJean is slot corner number 1 as that nickel back, but he's playing safety. He's playing a little bit outside. And so Mac McWilliams could maybe solidify a role as a backup nickel corner for this Eagles defense. And he has 4.4 speed. He can really, really run. Here's what Fangio said about McWilliams today. Another player we like. We think that he can play the nickel positions, and we think that he has a chance at corner. He's an interesting guy here in the next 4 to 5 weeks to see how much he progresses and see if he finds a role with us. That could impact the Eagles' plans at corner because Cooper DeJean is getting some first-team snaps at safety, and then obviously he's moving into nickel, depending on the situation. You have Quinyon Mitchell, who is going to lock down one of the outside corner jobs. But then you have Adoree Jackson and Kelee Ringo competing for the other job. But in the spring, we also saw Cooper DeJean getting some snaps at outside corner. And right now, there really isn't that bona fide, solidified backup slot corner. It could be McWilliams' job. This Jordan Davis story and this weight transformation is incredible. This photo here to the left is Jordan Davis on the first day of Eagles training camp. The one on the right was during his rookie year. He said today he is down 26 pounds from last year, not just his rookie year, so he must have been a lot heavier than what the Eagles listed him as after they took him in the first round in 2022, and he hasn't been this light since his sophomore year at Georgia. It's incredible. This is what happens when you put in hard work, some discipline. He's also fallen in love with the Peloton. Davis saying, I feel amazing. I put in the work, and I've been consistent. He also joked, you want me to take my shirt off, media, so y'all can see it? Love the humor from the big man. Landon Dickerson adding to that, saying Jordan Davis came into camp in really good shape. I also really like what Landon Dickerson said, one of the top left guards in football, about the Eagles' mental makeup and mentality entering 2025, coming off that Super Bowl championship last year. He said every team has an expiration date. The 2024 team does not exist. It's on to 2025. And I just continue to love the mentality that the Eagles have. They did not have this going into 2018 after they won that first Lombardi trophy in 2017. They continue to celebrate the previous year's accomplishment. Fans have moved on. I've moved on. A lot of you have moved on. The Eagles have moved on from last year. It was special. We'll never forget it. I'll never forget covering that Super Bowl run, being in New Orleans, being in Philly for the Super Bowl parade. It was magical. And it goes down as probably the most special season in the history of this Eagles organization. But I want them to repeat. And I want them to go on a dynastic run. And they have the same mentality. And that's been set in stone by head coach Nick Sirianni. Dickerson also saying that he thinks that Tyler Steen, the other guard opposite of him, has been doing a tremendous job. It is Steen's job to lose. Former third-round pick out of Alabama. He transferred to Bama from Vanderbilt. The Eagles took him to play guard. Struggled a little bit his first 2 years in the league, but he's entering a big year 3. And with Mekhi Becton on the other coast with the Chargers, got a nice little bag, 2 years, $20 million. It's up to Tyler Steen to earn that job. The ability is there. The athleticism is there. He just needs to be more consistent, and hopefully with him learning a new position, things start to slow down, and he starts to progress there at that right guard spot. More on some Eagles roster battles here. Yesterday, it was Kelee Ringo, first up at outside corner, opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. Today, it was Adoree Jackson, the veteran, the 2017 first-round pick, at that time by the Tennessee Titans. Kelee Ringo has been getting some great experience. He's been matched up against A.J. Brown a lot. While A.J. Brown has won a lot of those battles, the coverage from Kelee has been sticky. 6'2", 200 pounds. He runs 4.3. The good coverage is what you want to see. But Jalen Hurts has been very accurate, and A.J. Brown is one of the top wide receivers in the game. That experience going up against A.J. can make Kelee Ringo better. And A.J. even said, it's one of my jobs on this team to help other players develop and progress. And I think that Kelee Ringo can be better with this experience of going up against the likes of A.J. Brown. And we'll see if he can lock down that starting job. Andrew Mukuba, first-team safety today in nickel, not Sidney Brown. And then Cooper DeJean was the first-team safety in base. So when the Eagles go nickel, Cooper DeJean plays nickel. When the Eagles have been in base, that's when Cooper DeJean has been playing safety. Obviously, Vic Fangio taking the time allotted right now to tinker and experiment, and we'll see how things work out there. Andre Sam also got some first-team reps at safety as well, former UDFA out of LSU. He's in the mix at that safety spot. So too is Lewis Seen, Tristan McCollum, Sidney Brown, Andrew Mukuba. It's an open competition. Vic Fangio was also asked about Jihaad Campbell. He said yesterday, First practice, he looked solid. He did not expect Campbell to be ready for camp, but Campbell is full go. Yesterday he was limited. Not sure today if he was limited or not, but he's been practicing. He's been flying around. Length, speed, athleticism. I think that he can end up being a tremendous steal for Howie Roseman in this team. I'm a big believer in the player. Really like Jihaad Campbell. I think he has star potential if he could stay healthy, especially given what Fangio has done with linebackers. Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, while with the Niners. We saw what he did with Zach Bond, who was new to the position last year, and Nakobe Dean. Jihaad Campbell, an opportunity to really do something special with Philadelphia, and the Eagles got him 31st overall. It's unbelievable. Tanner McKee continues to practice really well. And I've said this time and time again. I was saying this last year during training camp and in the preseason. He's one of the top backup quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that at some point he can be a really good starter. 6'5", 6'6", can survey the field, throws with great touch, timing, and accuracy. He makes quick decisions. I'd be surprised if teams who have quarterback problems or teams who have quarterback injuries don't show trade interest in Tanner McKee in the lead up to the 2025 season. What I would do, not trade him away. He's under contract for 2 more years. We know how important backup quarterbacks are for Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts has been hurt, and he's missed some time from time to time, and it's a luxury to have a player that good as your backup quarterback. As for Kyle McCord, some good throws, some bad throws today. Yesterday, he was QB3 ahead of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I agree with that. I think he's the better player. In honor of Ozzy passing away, the Eagles playing some Black Sabbath today. Ozzy Osbourne passing away this week. And then today, Hulk Hogan, he passed away, the legendary wrestler. So the Eagles showing some love to Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. They just had their final concert not long ago, and Ozzy Osbourne was the lead singer just like he was for decades and decades. I didn't realize how many great songs Black Sabbath has. I mean, I've been listening to Black Sabbath the last couple of days, and I'm like, banger after banger after banger. R.I.P. to Ozzy Osbourne. Quinyon Mitchell also said today he talks to Darius Slay pretty much every other day. Darius Slay with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's had a borderline Hall of Fame career. He's been an All-Pro. He's been a Pro Bowler. He was a great Eagle for a long time. All-Pro and Pro Bowler with Philadelphia. He made it to 2 Super Bowls last year, a starting corner for a team that obviously won the Super Bowl. And he is very well liked inside that locker room. And I'm totally fine, given the career that Slay had, the person who he is, the leader who he is, continuing to talk to Quinyon Mitchell. And Quinyon seeking out advice for how he can improve from one of the top corners of this generation. Cooper DeJean spending some time with the kids here today, signing some autographs. He continues to be one of the most liked and beloved Eagles on this roster. And then Nolan Smith this morning was on the WIP Midday Show. He was asked by former Eagle great Hugh Douglas, what's the number? And Nolan Smith knew right away what Hugh Douglas was asking. What's the number? Hugh Douglas meant, how many sacks are you aiming for this year? Nolan Smith's goal, 1 sack in year 1, 6.5 in year 2, but he had 4 more in the playoffs, is to have at least 12 sacks in 2025. He does that, he's going to get between $20 and $30 million next offseason when he's extension eligible, perhaps even more. Thanks for the love, everybody. Thanks for watching and supporting the show. If you enjoyed today's Philadelphia Eagles Now and you're still hanging out here with us, give me a real one. And don't forget to give me a follow on social media. I'm on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. I'm reaching millions of people there, reaching millions of people here. And in addition to always talking about the birds here on YouTube, I'm always talking about the birds over there as well.